Yo, welcome back. Xenu, All-Star, nice to see you too. And also anyone else joining in later, we will now be continuing Chapter 13. Let's do this. Show sort of the stealth camera scene, or the thumbnail scene. There it is. Anyway, let's get to it. So, Tangaro is probably not going to be in this episode, but you know, I already made the thumbnails for all the episodes, so we'll just have to see if we're lucky, like we haven't so far. Oh yeah, there are battles! I'm so dumb, I didn't even prepare for this. Okay, what is the first battle? Yo, Omniron, welcome. Okay. Like, I made a point to, like, showcase this, like, the day before, just so that I could prepare for it, and I just forgot completely to prepare for it. Okay, so it's just a bunch of mobs on a tall map. Should be straightforward. Hello, Huin. We are going to just, again, bring our resource booster for support because I'm sure it'll be straightforward otherwise. Don't mind me having grinded for attack seeds before with the Chapter 12 quest. Let's go ahead and quickly whip up a team. It's gonna be all... what are they called? Those things. So honestly, this is probably fine. I believe that the camouflages can inflict or bestow none range rather, but oh, Oz can overwrite that since he can bestow all range after. There's not really anyone in particular who can give a damage buff, is there? Among my 3 stars. That doesn't have to move. Kind of a tall order. I believe Masanori can actually do that with concentration. Actually, never mind. I believe Fushi already gives concentration. Yo, Edwin, welcome. I'm just doing the very foolish thing of preparing a team now, even though I totally could have done that in the break. I just forgot completely. Who gives a buff anyways? On a 3-star? I don't even remember. Does it even matter? I know some of them can give nourishment or some shit, but... okay, let's like hope that Takamaru starts adjacent to what's it called, Fushi. I believe he can give attack up or something like that. Very low rate, 1 square around. Actually, I'm pretty sure I have a better rate unit for this. No, I don't. And... oh no, he can't hook up the thing. Okay, never mind. It has to be fire or water type. Oh yeah, doesn't Inawa bestow what's it called? Some buff beside him? It's probably Yagger, isn't it? Never mind. I suppose maybe we could hope for Ahab's somewhat low rate vigor. Slap that AR back on, please. Okay. Careful, level up. Let's just. Transformation, part 1.
リヒト様、あなた様のその笑顔こそ。
So normally, before these episodes, I give like a where we last left off sort of things, but the loading screens for these have been relatively fast, thank goodness. I don't even remember what happened the last time. It kind of went in a bunch of side stories in relation to Takumi Nakata and Daikoku and Guy Fieri, or all that stuff. Umamuchi Academy, let's do this. Farther northeast in Taito Ward than even Akihabara and Ueno lies Asakusa, where remnants of eras long past can still be found in relative abundance. This makes it a primary tourist destination for nearly arrived transients. It's famous for hosting a unique, and sometimes even dangerous, large-scale festival every year, where numerous injuries are reported. Lastly, it's also home to Asakusa Umamichi Academy. Umomichi Academy is renowned for its particularly enthusiastic student body, which makes it an attractive choice for zealous and outgoing transients. This also makes it a place where, rumor has it, quarrels and skirmishes are a constant from which there's basically no respite. Similarly, Shibamata in the neighboring Katsushika ward is a treasure trove of tradition where old-fashioned buildings still line the streets. And the old way stands strong. Look at that, just like Shikokin. So this is pretty much the forgotten word since Nobuharu is not relevant and Gandharva pretty much doesn't exist. Transients are attracted to these quaint streets, feeling a little bit of their own worlds in them, and they often wind up butting heads with locals. As a result, Asakusa and Taita Ward and Shibamata and Katsushika Ward have a certain ruthless rivalry between them that's ongoing for quite some time. In particular, transients from Shibamata are quick to come to blows, find themselves frequently coming to those blows with their Asakusa counterparts. Don't you be acting all high and mighty. You Asakusa lot. Don't forget we got the #1 shopping street, not you. What the fuck is Asakusa? Is that supposed to be a pun on Asakusa? They got more history in one street corner here than you got in a whole damn block. Let's say we finish this here now. Only one who could take my full-powered punch and not hit the dirt is you, Sonic Kamara. Ain't that right? His face is quite uncanny. But yeah, they mentioned in the last episode that Sonat may perhaps have some sort of a friendship with this Taishakunin. The one who's helped keep some semblance of peace between Asakusa and Shibamata for a long time is the man they call the big boss of Umomichi Academy, Sonat Kamara. According to unsubstantiated rumors, he's been at the school for longer than even the current graduating class. He only intervenes to mitigate any danger posed by the students when their fights with one another are poised to cross the line. As long as their actions remain in keeping with the paths they've chosen to follow, he would never raise even one finger to stop them. But if any person's actions betray what's just and right or defy all logic and reason, that's when he steps in. Additionally, should anyone be in need of a hard lesson yet turn their back to it, he will stand in their way and force them to face the music. He takes no sides and joins no teams, but acts alone to uphold his own ideals. And that's the Sonic Kamara the people of Taita Ward have come to know. He who keeps the peace with a light yet guiding touch. This is the border area separating the domains of the invaders in the south and the rulemakers in the east. And with the south on the offensive, the east has remained invisible and silent, yet very much on guard. With the stealthy defensive line of the rulemakers before him, Masanori, who's taken command of the invaders' front line, is a bit at a loss for what to do next. What we need is to wrest control of the east or west portals for a time. At least 20% of them, if possible. But this front isn't a deadlock at the moment, so we'll have to take a different tack. The front lines west of here is under the firm command of two of our major players, Perun and Temujin. The warmongers have their own incarnations of the sun to contend with, however, Tita and Marduk. Both are formidable foes, so our best bet will be to chip away at the middle ground between us. Masanori's plans take an almost stream of consciousness feel as he carefully studies a war map, projected from his phone indicating the positions of 3 True Guild's units. Taking into account the dispositions of the personnel assigned to the Warmonger's reconnaissance division. Comrade Yoshito Sosuke Inawaka, are you present? If so, step forward. Yoshito Sosuke Inukawa of the 8 Dog Warriors here. Commander Masanori Daikaku Inura, sir. I beg you forgiveness. Or I have another unpleasant task to assign you, Comrade Yoshito. Of course, sir. I will gladly do whatever is asked of me. Please use me as you see fit. We have all brought harm to those we care about, so as revolutionary comrades, we place our trust in you now. Much obliged. You are to lead a unit and attack Taito Ward. Immediately. Use your rule to take them down from the inside. Roger that. Though, is that all? That hardly qualifies as an unpleasant task. No perceptive. I would also like to test the readiness of a recently converted devotee. You know the one. Find out just how willing he is to dirty his hands. Is that unpleasant enough for you? Sympathizers for our cause have been plentiful of late, but it's hard to say just how deeply committed they are to our revolution. Therefore, I think it's time we put the Green Horde to the test and see if he really has cut his old ties. You, understand, no? Understood, sir. Justice Sosuke Inukawa will fulfill this mission to the utmost. All is for the revolution. Indeed. All is for the revolution. I once committed an unforgivable sin. I stained my hands then, bringing corruption upon an irreplaceable friend. My dear childhood friend, practically family. Yet I betrayed her bond of trust. I polluted her ties. That's why I can no longer see you. But please, wait for me, Koritaka. Soon, a new world order will be upon us. And when it is, I'll be able to puff up my chest and proudly face you once again. A short while later, at the Aoyama Guild in Shibuya Ward, immediately following the attack from the invaders. That's a new color scheme. There's been a momentary break in the weather. If we are to take refuge, now is our chance. Azazel uses his sacred artifact to monitor the storm clouds over Tokyo, reporting his findings as he becomes aware of them. Come, children, we will lead you to safety. Leave the scary troops behind and run as fast as you can. And there, doggy. Can we talk about how fast Azazel put his shirt back on? Hey, hold it right there. Don't move. A detached force of invader soldiers catch sight of the retreating Aoyama missionaries. Imagine terrorizing little kids like that. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. I know I sure can't look the other way till I shut you down. Let's then, shall we? I'll show you what the Saksa Guild can do. Wait, what? Why is there a battle? This doesn't make sense. We shouldn't be in this battle. So, is this like the first ever battle that's not actually facing or with the protagonist? It's a very bizarre way to start it, but I guess battles are happening all around and we don't necessarily need to be participating in them. But it's bizarre that we're even doing this. Point of view. Remind that it's a protagonist. Someone said that they're doing all this. Okay. That's not enough damage! Did he just get evasion? Oh, good.
やぶりと行くぞ。
I'll move him
夢の
like
勝
this.
ち差し上げどうぶち。やぶ
Very,
りと
very
行くぞ。
annoying.
勝ち差し上げはいど。やぶりと行くぞ。
What was that transition?
差し上げましどぶち。
Alright. Battle songs don't really have the best transitions. in this
や
game.
ぶりと行くぞ。
Stop. Stop, Yamate.
夢のアンドバーリゾートへガチ差しほな行こうか。ブルース肉の旦
Thank
那
you. I really wanted bigger
昨
on
日の敵は今日の友や
face Fushi, but it didn't happen.
またのお越しはやぶりと行くぞ。
Alright, fine. Let's just delete this guy.
差しやどうぶち。
Can you please stop activating evasion?
が俺の死に場所だ。やぶりと行くぞ。
Okay. We're just gonna keep on stalling back here until he
差
runs
し上
out.
げはいどはいど。ガチクソ。
Some more evasion, please.
俺さやぶりと行くぞ。お差しやどうはいど。差しガチで決めるぜ。やぶりと行く
Go!
ぞ。
Delete them all.
俺様やぶりと行くぞ。差しやどうぞ。ほな行こうか。ブルース肉の旦那。昨日の敵は今日の
There you
友
go.
やで。あはいど。
The more I talk at all, Yoshitsu brings me joy with that funny face. Yoshitsu's gonna put it in his jar later.
目が覚めたら喜んでくれるでしょうか。
Back and forth in music. Yeah, battles kind of don't have a properly programmed partial loop. Or rather, it can't really switch between two different songs. So that song is most likely including both the intro as well as the looping part, and it's just looping between the two, which doesn't make sense. But you know, it wants the intro, and it can't switch between the two, so that's what you get. And all of a sudden, MC was beside them, and then he disappeared. The Asakusa gurus do not typically jump into actions at times like this in the Ikebukuro, Aoyama, and Rock or Point guilds are wont to do. This is because there are usually countless disputes within the guild's ranks, making it difficult to coordinate group efforts. Hey, Sergeant Hiko. And unlike with other schools, students at Umamichi Academy often find themselves unaffiliated with the gurus. More shocking still, affiliated with other guilds entirely. Well, there's a few other cases like that where, you know, people who are associated with one school, they're actually with a different guild. Like, what's it called? There's, suddenly I can't even think of any examples. There's a few examples, I'm pretty sure. I think McCroy might be one of them. And there also is like a lot of people in the Aoyama school, like Tarumaiti and Shinya and Kalki are not actually part of the missionaries, for example. This includes the outlaws, the summoners, and even the warmongers, on top of a sizable number of independents. Oh wow. Yet there are also those who are drawn to the gurus from other schools. It's a very fickle guild, with some people coming and going as they please. One could even go so far as to say it's a guild that never really came together. Despite all of this, there's one unifying ideal that serves as the glue holding Umamichi Academy's de facto guild together. At the root of all its activities lies the concept of its adherents' chosen paths, the logical breakdown of their actions, and whether or not they stand up to scrutiny. In other words, the gurus are all about the justification, or lack thereof, of one's actions. An obstacle appears on the road before you. If it's something that clearly doesn't belong, then fight it. As long as there's a clear reason and intent, there's no need for the concepts of ally or enemy. There is only doing what needs to be done. It's not really a philosophy I have a good grasp on based on what they're trying to describe here, but it seems quite interesting specifically because I'm not familiar with it. The transient they call the big boss of Umamichi Academy, Son Kumara, is actually not a member of the Gurus. His actions have had a tremendous impact on formation and growth of both the Gurus and Umamichi Academy itself. He's always looked down on Asakusa and Toki in general from on high, ensuring no one ever strays from their true path. There's a pervading belief, in fact, that Son Kumara actually came down from some faraway point in space in order to guide us Earthlings on the proper path as we enter a new phase of our evolution. I don't think Sonnet's part of the old ones. And we are all to bide our time until the day comes when we too can rise up to the place he's from, the place he's meant to be. But when that day comes, what if Son Kumara stands in the way of our ascent and puts us to a rite of initiation?
Azazel, gather the kiddos and get behind me. Here we go. Rock solid antimony. Now! Get him, Gangle! Licho!
Hey, they exist now.
The path is clear now, children. Run!
Jacob! It seems Father Azazel and the others have successfully escaped. The thorny vines bearing created continue to provide shelter from the rain as she analyzes the current situation. Those remaining at the guild have moved towards Asakusa. We should make our retreat as well. We can gather what forces remain and regroup. Come, this way. Oh yeah, in some of his mythology, Sonnet is an alien from the planet Venus. What? What is us? What is Sonnet's original mythology?
Understood, Guildmaster Maria.
You win this round, Israel. However, now that the body you possess, belonging to Lord Zabanya, shall be returned to him in time.
Brave words! You remind me of the saints of old. I'm afraid things will not turn out quite the way you hope, however. For all that awaits you henceforth is Judgment Day. When the end comes, I look forward to watching your hope crumble as you scream in anguish and writhe in despair.
However many tears I shed, and however much agony I may feel, I will never deviate from this path.
We will not be beaten. We will remain steadfast. You will not be beaten. Perhaps true in a sense, but not in the way you mean. You and all the others in this world have a much worse fate in store than simply being beaten. Permit me to fill in some blanks for you. Yes, this should deepen your suffering all the more, I surmise. Long ago, within Eden's Old Testament, one could find 12 short prophecies. One of them reads as follows: God and humans shall wage war, and humans shall be the victors.
Most will see the statement and fail to grasp its meaning. They may ask questions like, how could an all-knowing, all-powerful being lose to the likes of humankind? But that, you see, is the wrong question to ask. An omnipotent being can lose quite easily, if that be their will. That's the difference here. For humans, defeat is a state imposed upon them externally. It is not an outcome to be chosen. For humans, it is the higher power, and only the higher power, that is capable of meting out true loss, or true defeat. And that is the meaning of Judgment Day. Be sure to consider it well, for its implications should and do concern you. Until we meet again. Alright, that's part 1. I wonder if we're gonna get another battle, because the first time we had battles for all 3 episodes, or all 3 parts of the episode. Taito Word, no battle, there's the answer. Transformation, part 2. If you can elaborate on what Sonnet's original mythology is, I'd be interested in hearing it. Like, what other world would he probably be from? And why would it be connected to a planet of all things? The Ikebukuro Underground is a dungeon where the memories of countless loops now rest. And it's there where Shuichi Togo, in alliance with both Shinjuku and Ikebukuro guilds, continue to analyze data from those loops. The amount of data here is just overwhelming. There aren't enough resources in the world to process it all. Perhaps it's time to take a rest, Shuichi. You've been hard at work last night, and a moment's respite may do you good. No, I'm alright, thanks. I'm just about getting a handle on the basic structure of what we're dealing with here. So we know that this area has battles of memories, or memories of battles rather. I'm not sure if they're specific to this Coliseum or what. And Thor was found within this Coliseum too, and it wasn't actually battles of any memories or memories of any battle. It was specifically memories of battle where Odin was, or at least when he was taking over Osei's body, something like that. And if we learn just a bit more about the past, we'll be one step closer to learning the 3 true guilds' intention. Those memory fragments your guildmaster saw in Akihabara have been of particular interest to me. Besides which, I still need to piece together what my dear little brother is up to. So, taking time to rest is out of the question. Not to mention the fact that you've been helping me out this whole time, yet you haven't had a moment's rest either. That is of no concern, I assure you. I engage in regular training, so this much is but a trifle for me. I see. Curious, isn't it? Pardon? We've been training in Kendo together for so long, yet I think this is the first time we've ever really talked like this. I forget, Inuzuka. Do you still have any family back in your homeworld? Regrettably, I do not. My father and mother both, as well as my pet dog Yoshiro, have all passed on. So there is one friend I've known since I was a kid, whom I regard as family of sorts. Oh, a childhood friend, huh, Yoshito? Indeed. We shared many joys and sorrows together since our days as pups. He always does what he can for me, and with a smile on his face, bearing many hardships, yet never allowing them to weigh down on him. Sounds like a nice fella. It's fortunate you two were able to meet. Well, perhaps it is. Zoe was made later aware that his master had given him the order to assassinate me. What? He was ordered to kill you? Ah, but he was very open about it, as he always is. We have a bond of friendship that we have both pledged never to betray. It is because of this friendship of mine that I am capable of placing my trust in others now. It is thanks to him that I know there are other people I can count on, and simply knowing that gives me strength. Someone you can count on will never betray you. That's how I thought of my little brother too. Shuichi. He's always been the one person who meant the world to me. The bonds between us could never be broken, no matter what. But I've come to realize there are no absolutes in this world. There's always a what that defies the no matter. Shuichi's eyes glaze over a bit as he stares deeply in his display. Looking at all the memories from all the past loops here in Tokyo has got me thinking that maybe the world representatives and I aren't so different after all. Even with multiple lifetimes worth of memories at your disposal, there still exists an unimaginable outcomes, and they still happen. The thoughts and feelings of even the distant past can still bear their fangs and attack you, even now. Well, there's no escaping it, not unless you're a god. Only in the realm of the divine and omnipotent do absolutes exist. Shuichi! Sorry, Maritaka, I don't mean to be such a downer. It's just... we all have our personal histories, you know. Going back to your story, may I ask your childhood friend's name? Oh, certainly. I don't mind speaking of him at all. His name is Yoshito. Yoshito Sosuke Inukawa. I wonder if he has intel that he's part of the Invaders. I mean, he should. It's not that secretive of information that duo should have had at some point. Well, this should be far enough. Take a breather here in my temple, kids. It does seem the enemy's tendrils have not stretched this far. My thanks to you all, gurus. Ain't no big deal. Look, I'm about to let some hooligans try and rough kids off the hook, you know. Besides, you really saved our butts too, so we owe you one. Are you referring to our deployment of Master Ryota and Hanman of the Summoners? As I recall, we're having some trouble with transients from the neighboring Shibamata. Yeah, there's this one guy from there named Taishakuton has a whole lot of fight in him. Our Big Boss doesn't usually take care of him without much trouble, but we ain't seen Big Boss for the last little while. And without him, the fighting just doesn't stop. Nobody else involved can make a dent in it. That's why we sent Gandharva to ask you guys for help. We need an intermediary. And I don't know what was said, but it sure did the trick. Not long after you got involved, Taishakuton sheathed his sword. So I ain't kidding when I say you saved our butts, and I couldn't be happier to return the favor. Okay, so very briefly in like chapter 10 maybe, or maybe was it 9, something like that, Gandharva randomly showed up in front of the missionaries, and it wasn't really explained why. I guess that was the reason why. It wasn't for a particular reason by the missionaries or by the summoners, rather they were sent by the Aoyama Guild, and it's led to this. I see. It's good to hear we could be of assistance. But might I be excused for a moment? I wish to check on the children. Oh, yeah. Go right ahead. I'll keep an eye out in here. Get a chance to take a breather anyway, Azazel. May not be for another bit. Gotta say though, I'm pretty tired myself. I guess I did run all the way here from Shibuya, so it makes sense. No voice lines allowed for Leech or Ganglia. Target and his natives exhaustion. If we're to launch a surprise attack, now is the time. Take your positions, everyone. On my mark, we engage the facility from here. Create as much chaos as you can, and use that to infiltrate enemy ranks, instigate friendly fire, and take the portal. Commence operation in 3, 2... Belay that. There's no need to get the children mixed up in all this. We should attempt to minimize casualties as much as possible. Oh, afraid to get your hands dirty, are you, Son Akimaro? I can't say I've ever heard a clean, low-casualty revolution, but if you have, please enlighten me. If you really count yourself as part of the Invaders, then you'll have no problems doing things my way. And the way I see it, anyone who chooses to strike out on their own in lieu of dirtying their hands is no revolutionary. Fortunately, you have a chance here to prove your mettle to me. The ball's in your court now. Yo, Prisma. Hello. Yoshite Sosuke Inukawa, allow me to reiterate that I've parted ways with them. You don't need to worry about me. For your sake, I hope that's true. Now show me your commitment. Dirty those hands and prove that you're one of us. Now then, 10 hot everyone. Make certain you're ready, and let's get this operation underway. Reality is but the dream, and the dream is reality. Shall the sleepy rodent sleep, even though the tail is still being read? Oh, looks like the intel about San's connection with Umamechi was right, and Alice caught them. Tea party madness! Oh my, you've certainly grown your circle of friends in the time since I last saw you. I can't help but feel left out. Ooh, he's in trouble. Does this mean you have actually chosen to side with the Invaders, Son Akimaro? Of course, it's no problem for general participants to do as they please in the game, as long as they don't break it. But it's different for us guild masters. We have an absolute duty to ensure the game continues operating smoothly. So I'm sure you understand that I can't simply look the other way when you align yourself with one of the player camps. We've said enough, however. It's time to hear what excuses it might have for your behavior, Son Akimaro. I have none. The path I walk has simply split off from yours. Now I, Son Akimaro, of the Invaders. Now I am Son Akimaro of the Invaders. Okay, so this is what they're talking about with the gurus, even though he's not part of it. And the fact that they kind of choose their own paths, whether it's ally or enemy, it's just about doing what's right in front of you. No! Just hold on a minute here. What happened to you, Sonnet? Leon and she? You may not go alone both time, but you're a good person. You don't get close to others, but you don't betray them either. Those aspects of your personality are why I've trusted my heart to you. The energy alludes to her role, which is very much a curse as far as she's concerned. When the enemy's heart is accepted by another, that person will begin to lose their life essence and eventually pass away before their time. This has been a source of great concern for her, worried as to whether or not San Kumar will accept the heart she consciously entrusted to him. Even if a stranger were fighting with someone close to you, you'll never take either side. Okay, so San Kumar came down a spiritual plane of Venus over 2,500,000 years ago, sent by his people to aid with our spiritual evolution. That they're ahead of us by hundreds of millions. Okay, but what mythology is supposed to be from? What mythology exactly includes Venus besides the old ones? What happens to that, Summer? It's just not right. Something's definitely not right here. Well now, isn't this just the perfect opportunity that's fallen into our laps? Can you kill your old friend, Sanat Kamara? Of course. I'll take care of her. of Lin and Chi right now. Oh no, Lin and Chi era is over.
Oh, Senate!
Then I'll leave her to you and focus my attention to the other two. But as soon as they're dealt with, we must get to work on the Saxa Guild. We haven't the time for continued diversions. My, you are quite the confident one. You really intend to take on both of us all by your lonesome. Alice of the Game Masters and her loyal servant Jambavan. I've heard all about you both. I know of your unbreakable bond, but I just so happen to possess a rule designed to sever such bonds. With this, Yoshito flips over the character engraved on his sword, symbolizing Paulonia, Arius' rule. Regardless of what may become of my opponent, the only one I will never betray is myself. Sound familiar? So many people fall into that trap. They believe they can push themselves to the brink and still never betray their ideals. But there's no one in this world with an ego so absolute as that. No one is immune to being invaded. I know that better than anyone, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. Polonia, turn ye upside down and inside out, blade of treachery. One of the rule makers' main portal is located at Tokyo Cathedral in Chuba Ward. This cathedral has just gotten a visitor. How does Christine sound? Salutations, Guildmaster of the Rule Makers. I apologize for disturbing you, as I'm certain you must be ever so busy. Christine of the Yurikucho Entertainers, what brings you to the central hub of ours? And where's your partner? Is Alice not with you today? Oh, what a tease you are, asking questions you already know the answer to. Alice has a little concern for the likes of me. She's always off gallivanting around on jobs with that hired Therian of hers. She never plays with me anymore. Is Jabafon not actually part of the rule makers, but rather just cooperating? Or rather, the Game Masters? But it seems she's made all the wrong moves during a rather critical scene. I fear she won't be performing on stage in this production anymore. Which in some regard may be for the best. But sadly, another member of her guild, Yin-Chi, has gotten caught up in her mess, and she too seems poised for exunt. Therefore, I would like to humbly request, as an actress myself, that I be considered to fill her vacancy. I've vowed to give 110% to my perfection, that the esteemed audience may grant it the highest regard. But of course, I do not think it right to take the stage without first running it by the casting department. I presume there will be no objection, however, seeing as we entertainers and you game masters are of a single mind. Okay, it seems Christine's not addressing Kurin here, not as part of the rule makers, but rather as part of the game masters. It's interesting. And either way, as I have not been able to get in touch with Alice, it seems only right to keep you abreast of the situation. I'm afraid I have no thoughts for the scene, as it were. You're free to do as you please, Christine. Although all of us who serve as guildmasters for the three true guilds have been granted our permissions by the game masters. And we are all part of the game masters ourselves. Okay, that's a nice confirmation. They're not just affiliated, they're straight up part of them. We do not always share the same outlook as you and your friends. Our rule is to ensure the smooth continuance of the game. We are mad observers, in a sense, much like this one. Current gestures towards Malgrad station, upon which the original form of one of the three fragments of memories, Housamo no is displayed. Okay, so this is the third fragment then. My goodness, we'll simply never get over what a breathtaking effigy it is, no matter how many times I may see it. That was your true goal in coming here, wasn't it? To catch a glimpse of this data? Oh, no. That would be far too presumptuous of me. As an actress in this production, I know I am only permitted to look from afar. Sana is one of those beings that come from many mythologies, so it's hard to say where LifeWonders is pulling from. Really? Multiple mythologies, huh? Though I must admit, when I sense he may be looking at me, it makes my heart skip a beat, as though he'd given me a rose. Just a spectator in the stands, huh? That's what it was supposed to be like for him, too. And for us. He's overseen the trophy through all these infinitely repeating loops. And we true guildmasters should have taken a page from his book and just been watching from afar, as well all this time too, and yet Isaac and Bertro. No emotional attachment, just watching intently from on high. We were supposed to be in the same position he was. But then Bertro, Robert, decided to step onto the battlefield directly. And after that, the revolutionary prodigy, Isaac, chose to directly participate in the game as well. And it seems he's still at it. Is this the first signs of the next chapter? What's called the rule makers and entertainers, since they're talking right now. It's a lot to analyze. Therefore, if it's all the same, I'll just be watching your production from the sidelines, I'm afraid. Oh, of course, I do so hope you enjoy it. Rehearsal is over, so let's get the real show underway, shall we? When the full cast on hand, it's time we draw the curtains wide and present our show to the world. Hey, finally. Some big explanation of overpower, not really. In which I get to be the star, at long last. Okay, we'll now be covering the last part for the stream. Part 3 of Transformation. Let's do this. If you look at the total runtime for every chapter, particularly this one, it's quite long if you think about it. I mean, I know it's a long campaign, but for anyone that's catching up all at once, this is easily going to be like at least 10 hours long per chapter. So that's like, if we're just inferring that all the way up to chapter 10 at least, that's, 10, 11, 12, 13, that's 40 hours just for chapter 10 to chapter 13. That's a crazy amount, and that's not even including every chapter before.
What? Am I to understand you correctly, Counselor? Are you truly speaking of Wakantanka from my own school?
The very same, yes. Although he totally disappeared just one episode ago. Or 2 episodes ago, rather. It's quite a while. This is a very deferred explanation. Exactly as it was Commander Tezcatlipoca from our own Marine Guild, the Warmongers. Wakantanka is one of the main players of this game. The ones referred to as World Representative possess extraordinary powers. And according to the reports from that front, it is he who's been deemed responsible for spawning this peculiar rain. I thought we're still on part 1. Part 1? No. Part 1 was the one where we are fighting on behalf of the Umichi Academy, apparently. And part 2 was whatever we just saw. For which he remained quite detached and unmoved. It seemed as though he brought it about without regard or feeling. He has been a student at your school, Yogi Academy and Chibi Award, since the very start, has he not?
That's right, I'm quite certain of it.
Can you tell me once more everything you know about that particular transient?
Oh, of course, Counselor. Wakantanka is a third-year student at Yoyogi Academy and captain of the football team. He is renowned for loving everyone around him equally and being loved by a vast number of them in turn. He's often seen as a kind of dependable friend, and the only thing he rains down upon others is boundless affection. So maybe be frank, counselor. I really am surprised that you could possibly be speaking of the Wakantanka I know. It seems almost absurd, even, knowing him as I do.
I regret to say the intel I've received very strongly suggests, however, that I am referring to this self-same man you describe.
If that's the case, then did something happen to him? If so, what would that something even be?
I forget who exactly approached the Wakan when he was normal in the main story. It might have been Masanori, but I forgot.
What could drive Wakantanka, of all people, to use his rule to threaten and attack people of Tokyo?
Yasuyori Kubungo Inuta loses his composure for a moment. Screaming his questions at his peer, whom he considers one of the wisest and most all-knowing sages in the entire world. The same question could be asked of so many world representatives, and I too would like to know the answer. But if I may, Yasuyori, I'd like to dissect the question. You refer to this rain as a threat and attack on the people of Tokyo. Yet I might postulate that from Wakantanka's perspective, it is no such thing, and is never intended as an attack after all. Yeah, that does seem to be the case. Everyone's just receiving loving memories, but there seems to be some other things going on with other people's powers, such as pairing and possibly Yoshito. It's quite terrifying when you think about it. We know so little about what's happening around us. Virtually nothing at all. Yoritomo of the world representative of the land of Oa, one of the 23 other worlds connected to Tokyo. He serves as one of the warmongers generals on the Western Front, and is widely respected by those in his charge for his wisdom in military affairs.
Still, if I told the troops, I'm sure they'd be shocked. I try to make it seem as though I fully comprehend every situation. But I do not comprehend a single thing about my little brother, despite our bonds of blood.
Yoritomo once had a little brother who knew nothing of politics, and though Yoritomo cherished his little brother, he also feared him. So you talk about our inner soul, whatever it's called. For his little brother, who idolized him more than anyone else, also challenged his position more than even any enemy could. No matter how often Yoritomo cut him off and left him for dead, he would always come back and cling to him once more. Till the very end, Yoritomo never understood what it was his little brother saw in him.
There is nothing more terrifying in this world than the unknown, and that terror births further wars upon war.
As the warmongers under his command march onto the battlefield, one after another, Yoritomo's gaze remains fixed towards the south. Directed firmly at Tokyo Bay, the only major link Tokyo has with the wider ocean. But even more specifically, his gaze is directed at the Rainbow Bridge, which spans it. Oh, right. Not talking about Bifrost, but a literal bridge.
So what you're saying is, this is not an attack from the invaders.
I believe it was not. That's correct.
And I believe you're just messing with us. I mean, you're the freaking guildmaster. What's with this I believe crap?
Kengo suddenly makes a move to grab Isaac by the shoulders in order to better confront him. However, he's transparent.
What the?
You'd best be careful. You are, after all, submerged in Tokyo Bay. These are the depths of the sea of data. Careless movements will get you swept away by waves of information. And who knows where you might end up.
Where? Beneath Tokyo Bay. And what do you mean, sea of data?
Exactly what it sounds like. Though this is the base of a pillar, a store of memories far deeper than even the Tokyo underground. Conventional wisdom long ago proclaimed that all cultures from all lands would ultimately be swept away by great floods and wind up at the bottom of the sea. This was true for Kanon. In fact, it would seem we have a new visitor who just walked in right over there. Rest in peace. This will continue happening. 1, 2, 100, then 10,000 people will pass through these waters. This occurs because the invaders' tactical abilities are progressing steadily even now. If things persist in this manner, the number of people connected here will only continue to rise. Why are people coming? You didn't really explain properly to me, or at least I don't understand. And once that number tops half of Tokyo's population, the next phase can begin. That's his intention. Bring half of people here. So they're not just being stuck in the rain, they're actually being transported in some way to this location in the cable system. Half of Tokyo's population? The hell are you babbling about? That's a very valid question, Kengo. But before that, Isaac, what were you talking about a moment ago? What did he mean when he said we're beneath Tokyo Bay, in the deepest part of the Sea of Data? Precisely what I said. Were you to run into Fushi, the world representative Fenglai, you might put it like this. If everyone believes that the truest truth resides in the deepest depths, then that too is where the most valuable truth is found. This place is a database situated at the deepest point in all of Tokyo. Your consciousness has been connected to the undersea cables which run beneath Rainbow Ridge in Tokyo Bay. What? No, I've had it with all this nonsense. You best take us back to where we came from, if you know it's good for you. My partner's still up there fighting, so I can't afford to be wasting time talking to some brat down here. Well now, if that's your own concern, you may put those fears to bed. There's no need to return to the battlefield for that. Huh? This is soon to become the main stage for everything. All of the people you know and love will see you here shortly. We were forced to admit that we didn't know how to bring this eternally repeating battle to an end. This game that's turned Tokyo into a battlefield has never seen victory before. From the beginning, this board was set in such a way that the political majority could not ever truly be established. It was simply to be a free-for-all among 23 players, whose beliefs and interests could never quite align. Then entered the invaders, whose goal here is simple. Flip the game board and replay the whole thing from scratch. It's all about reversing fortunes from the ground up, doing whatever it takes to change unknowns into knowns. Alright, Isaac, there's one more thing I'd like you to tell us. What is the truth behind the invaders' actions? Yeah, the hell are you asking him questions for? This bug's turning Tokyo into a wasteland and putting my partner in danger. It's mercy, you know. The rain that Wakantanka is bringing down upon the city. Do you think a happy life without knowledge is possible? A life within a closed world, while remaining blissfully ignorant of all its machinations? One day, suffering will descend upon you, and you'll be told it's a sacrifice you must make for the sake of progress. Those world representatives appear callous because they know someone must be sacrificed, someone must be suffer. That's why revolution is so paramount for us, even if most people just can't understand the necessity just yet. They will come to understand, in time, that this is the only way to ensure everyone can continue to enjoy their lives. After an infinite number of loops, we finally arrived at the one where the invaders have reset the board in their favor. World Representative Wakantanka and Tangoro Heaven made to file down their individuality. And the prodigious Guildmaster who collectivized the wisdom of the 23 worlds has since augmented them with the latest science and technology. That is, assuming the plan the invaders are pushing through is exactly as postulated here. It is true that a plan like this could potentially save every single person in this current Tokyo, at least politically. But the tragedy that would unfold alongside it is mortifying.
It would ring of all the darkest chapters in our history at once. Yoritomo, a world representative himself, looks up from his musings to see a brilliant explosion of light from the south. Summoners and wise men alike, we dutifully request your report on what has just transpired. Sending monitor now. Observe via surface cameras. A high energy collision has been confirmed in the south of Tokyo. Heavens! It's the same as when Lords Vani and Master Ryota first came in contact. Of course! An exception territory. The enemy must have been planning this from the start. It's about time they're saying it. Hey, he's there. Okay, something else just fight. The two world representatives, Wakitaka and Tangaro, have clashed atop Rainbow Ridge in Shinagawa. And with both of their full-powered rules coming into contact with each other, that which lay at the bottom of Tokyo Bay has been upended and brought to the surface. And the waves generated by this become even more rain, further deluging the unwitting people of Tokyo. Just as light falls from the heavens onto the earth, so too does rain fall from the heavens only to flow into the sea. This grand megalopolis, Tokyo, has been consumed by the great flood of time again and again. And in the deepest part of the ocean, the truth that was washed away each time has repeatedly been deposited. Physically deeper than even the pillars of light throughout Tokyo, and conceptually deeper than Akibara's deep web. The child prodigy continually built up his network through countless loops, simply by letting the dirt settle where it may. Are deeper than pillars of light. What is settling? It seems some sort of network of cables is, or something. The cables is the physical manifestation of where people are being sent, but also it seems there's something metaphorical being deposited underneath from countless loops. Among the 23 worlds, one has a myth in which a great flood claimed an ancient civilization and sent it to the bottom of the sea, Kanan. This ancient land is known by many names: Atlantis, Lemuria, and the legendary super civilization of Nu. It is reasonable to assume, therefore, that memories of this mythical land from past loops survive within the depths. It's from the depths. If there is indeed destroyed civilizations within Tokyo Bay, then sure, but... Ah! Giant waves! Everywhere! From all directions! Earthen. What do we do? We're gonna get swallowed up. I guess they're right. We did come here after all. Oh! What the? Where are we? We are underwater? We have to get to the surface, or... Wait! I can breathe? I can breathe! These are the memories of the Tokyo that once was. They are the ruins of a civilization that sank into the sea of data. And they have now been dredged up from those depths and exposed, owing to the collision of two world representatives. Memories of the Tokyo that once was. Ruins of a civilization that sank into the sea of data? Here, you will be able to observe the deepest truth you've never quite been able to reach before. The deepest truth? I wonder what it could be. You've been hearing all about your own past in the previous loops. All this time, a past you don't remember. The people with whom you laughed, with whom you cried, and with whom you forged bonds. But haven't you wondered at all if those memories truly belong to you? You have no recollection of that version of you, so can the friendship and love you felt in those loops truly be yours?
There are so many versions of you from so many times, which begs the question, which one is the real you? They're not all just us? Or could it be that none of them are? What determines who you are versus who you aren't? How can one quantify what the world representatives are doing? And after all that fighting and all the loops, what remains? Come now, the departure time is nigh. Allow me to show you the way. I will introduce you to the Invaders Guildmaster, the one who was once known as Isaac. But do proceed with abundance of caution, for your greatest foe may very well lurk within these depths. The exception is here. Whoa, that is enormous. This is the first time I'm willingly looking at this art carefully. So this is probably going to be the Valiant exception then. Because they said something about a hero territory or something like that. Okay, that is it for this stream of the playthrough of the story. We'll just briefly look at the next part's name and maybe if there's a battle. No battle, so it's just Interlude 1. We'll be covering that tomorrow. Okay, so that is episode 4 of chapter 13. I already forgot the name of it. So, yeah, we're getting a bit more clarification, and Train doesn't sound as schizophrenic anymore in terms of actually trying to make more sense for the context we're being given. Yeah, they're cooperating, but it seems it's not just the cables themselves, but rather the concepts of destroyed civilizations of Tokyo itself in the past that has submerged, and all that sediment has been deposited and has expanded, such that it has become a world of its own, and that's what we're seeing right now. We're not actually literally within the cables, rather we're within this realm created from past Tokyos. So, looking at the screenshots from Twitter, I thought that was actually Tokyo submerged, but it's not. It's like ancient Tokyo. This one felt short for some reason. It was only 1 hour long in the end, so it was pretty short. Yeah, I already scheduled this for 2 weeks, so I'm not gonna be doing the rest of it right now. It's fine. So, yeah, we covered a good amount here. It seems the Sanat plot is moving along, and it seems people are being sent there to the Underrealm, which is some sort of coordination happening. The attack supposedly isn't from the mirrors, but the plan to send everyone underwater is. So Walkman responsible for the deluge of rain set, and his combat with Tanjiro led to the creation of the Exception territory itself. I don't believe where Isaac is right now is the Exception territory. It's just the Underrealm with past Tokyo civilizations. And the objective seems to be related to getting everyone to be drugged into that Underrealm. And it seems that both Alice and Jambavan had recently been defeated by Yoshito. So that's probably not Yoshida's rule that sent them there, but rather it's more so he defeated them, and so they ended up getting exposed to Wakan's reign. Most likely that happens to be the case. Also, Esfrill sort of hinted at something about some willful defeat scenario and about judgment. I'm not sure how it's coming into play here quite yet, but we're getting more bits and pieces of the plan here. A majority is going to be set in Tokyo, which of course is related to the what's called the major rule. I forgot what it's called. But that one rule is likely going to consist of something about upending up from down. It seems that's like a common trait here. And Yoritomo seems to be inferring that they're wiping the screen page and flipping it upside down. I'm not entirely sure what that means exactly, but we're gonna have to see eventually what that means in due time. So yeah, all around Dottie rival. Alice and Javan feels like jobbers. Yeah, they kind of totally got fucked instantly, which is kind of funny. And Leanne and she dying, it's just like, truly the Leanne era is dead, both gameplay-wise and in the story. But yeah, that's it for my thoughts on this one part. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and then after then we'll take a bit of a break and we'll head over to Monday. No other kind of streaming coming this weekend. There could have been a tier list stream of some kind, but I still need to work out the partnering details for that. And there's not going to be a discussion stream for the content as well until maybe the mobs come out. Maybe we'll see. I'm not sure. So you guys can rest easy for the weekend. There's no stream or anything. Everything dies. Something like that. Okay, guys. I'll see you guys next day tomorrow. Until then, take care. Bye.